So, welcome everyone to the third day of our 5-day Free Your Authenticity challenge. Yesterday, we talked about the external pressures. Hello, Rachel. The external pressures that may be keeping us or pressuring us to feel disconnected from ourselves. And of course, there could be internal pressures related to that as well. Wanting to be a good person, wanting to be accepted by these people, by these groups. So there's definitely both internal and external pressures that can bring that about in us, this disconnection to the authentic self. Today, I want to talk more about our internal experience, about emotions, and our energy. And I love doing this by comparing yin-yang aspects or male-female aspects or masculine-feminine. So this is beyond sex and gender. This is all about energy, and we have this dual expression of energy in all of us. And when we are living authentically, there's usually maybe not a total balance, but there are both expressions definitely showing up. And there is the wounded state and the healed divine state. And of course, the divine state is where we are in our authentic nature. So I put up a graphic in our group here. Make sure you click on it because it is long form. It's a Pinterest pin. So you may not see it all when you're just looking at the post. So definitely look at that list. It is very interesting to see as you reflect where you may go when you are in a wounded state, and to really identify that you are in a wounded state. This takes a lot of honesty. And again, doing all this work, as painful as it is sometimes, to look at that and to see it. Again, we're not going into the blame shame game or feeling like, oh, we did something bad. This is all just information that's getting us to a more healthy, healed place. Okay, so we welcome this energy because it is what is helping us shift. So before we get into a breathing exercise where I'm going to help you balance out these aspects of the self, I want to just give a little personal share here because I wasn't always looking at energy this way. Yes, I was always looking at yin and yang and other aspects of Chinese medicine because that's my background. But last summer, I started working with some business coaches who, Betsy and Laura Milne, just so you know, I should give them a shout out. They're the team with Luscious Hustle. And I love that they are just so spiritually deep, as well as giving practical advice about business, entrepreneurship. Anyone who is on here, I know, Rachel, you are an entrepreneur, and when you own your own business, it's like therapy. and and when you teach something, like here I'm teaching this authenticity class, it's funny how the universe is like, okay, you're going to teach that. Well, I'm going to give you some more lessons. So you have a really broad curriculum that you could teach people. So I feel like this was all happening to me last summer too, that I was learning a lot of lessons from life and from these coaches. And this is when we started seeing a lot of the mandates happening here in the Bay Area, in San Francisco in particular, just a few cities up from where I am, where they were imposing vaccine mandates. And I started to get worried for myself and my son that we wouldn't have access to places like the grocery store. I had been calm and cool up until that point, and then I started to freak out a little bit. And of course, that was affecting everything. I expressed this to my husband, and I was like, what are you going to do? And I was like asking him to protect us. And he was like, I am protecting you, and brought up that people had been asking about my status and everything. And then I started getting more paranoid. I was feeling paranoid because then there was gossip about me too that I knew was there, but this was confirmed. But he was trying to be as reassuring as possible, and I wasn't receptive to that immediately. Eventually, I was. And when I talked to my business coaches about this, they really helped me too in seeing how I was showing up in such a wounded victim way. And here I was going from the victim mindset of the wounded feminine to automatically going over to the wounded masculine, being defensive, being offended. And this happened later too, when he questioned something about what I was doing in my business. And I was like, what? It's my business. And, but he was starting to doubt because I was showing up in such a weakened state. That someone you love, when they see you like that, they're going to be concerned, right? And I love that this was such a brief period in time for me, that I had so many people, my husband and these coaches especially, who were reflecting this back to me so I could make changes. And I did. And now I am consciously trying to show up in more of this queen energy of being self-assured, really trusting life and how it's flowing, not being concerned with the pettiness of others, and really just knowing that I can get by in life regardless of the restrictions happening around me, which never ended up happening here. So yeah, just wanted to share that to add some vulnerability here. And so you can share as well if you're wanting to. All right, friends. So now I want to share a simple breathing practice with you called the 9 clearing breaths. I actually have a very polished video of this up on YouTube. If you're wanting to share this with others, maybe share that one unless they find, of course, all this other information is useful to you, especially if they want to do this whole 5-day challenge. And for those of you watching on YouTube, the link for the challenge is in the description below. So this breathing practice is about balancing yin and yang and the masculine, feminine energies in the body. So in the yogic system and in Taoism, we believe that the left side of the body is the feminine. So our more yin nature, our receptive, more passive nature, both the wounded and the divine aspects. The right side is considered more masculine. This is our yang, active nature. It can have the wounded as well as being aggressive, hot tempered, natured, and then the divine, of course, too, being very encouraging and reflective, for people, and even deeply spiritual. We don't think of the masculine as being that way, but it is. And so there are these two, there's this dual aspect of the self, and then we kind of bring it together with an integration at the end of this breathing practice where we're taking in everything. But we're using the left and right nostril to do this. There are a few other breathing practices. Nadi Shodhana is a popular one, alternate nostril breathing, which is just integrating and balancing. But this 9 clearing breaths is more particular in not just creating a balance between the two, or the 3, if we're considering the whole picture too, but it's also you're actively clearing out the wounded with a final breath. So you'll understand when I show it to you. But first, I just want to work with the left and right, the Ida and the Pingala, and then I'll explain the 9 clearing breaths. So we're going to bring up our right hand, and you're going to place your thumb on your right nostril. Just place it there, don't press it yet. And your ring finger and pinky finger are going to be on your left nostril. The other 2 fingers can be in between the eyebrows or tucked into your hand. And then we're going to close off the right nostril gently. So just the left is open. And inhale deeply through the left. Keep your belly relaxed so you're feeling the breath moving all the way down into the belly. Exhale smoothly. So a few more breaths on this left side, which is the Ida, our feminine nature. That goes with the flow in life. So as we're doing this, you can reflect on that. How easily are you trusting the flow in life? Do you feel like you have some control with this trust, with this faith? Or do you feel like life is happening to you and you may tend to drift into a victim state? So sometimes if you're noticing a blockage on one side, that can be indicative that there is an issue with this aspect, but not always the case. One more breath. Okay, and now we'll switch. So closing off the left nostril, opening the right. If you need to blow your nose, go ahead and do that. Okay, so now open on the right side. Smooth, deep breaths here. Our masculine nature. Our young, active nature, which is just important as the feminine. This is what keeps us motivated in life and taking action. Establishing goals, setting us off on our life purpose. It's our encouraging nature. Notice how easily you're able to breathe on this side. And you can reflect on how you're living in this state. Have you been in the divine? Or have you been in this victim state? Which can be aggression, being defensive, offended, ego and success driven, so not trusting spirit as much. Even pushing too hard, trying to make things happen. Okay, this could be the last breath. We'll release the hand for a moment. Okay, so now we're going to do the 9 clearing cycles. And so let me just talk you through it first. We're going to be closing off the right nostril. So working with the Ida again, the left side. We're going to inhale, and these are going to be quicker breaths now. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and then a forceful exhalation like that. And you can't see my belly, but my belly is moving in. So it's a forceful out through the nostril, but you're using your abdominal muscles too to contract. And so as you're blowing it out, you're blowing out this wounded state. Okay, so this is all about intention again. This is ritual. So we are expecting that this shift is going to happen because we are doing it with the mind, with our belief system, okay? So we're not actually blowing this out of the body, but it's more on an energetic level. I think you know what I mean, okay? So we're going to do that 3 times, the cycle of in, blow out. So do that 2 more times. Then we'll go to the right side, 3 cycles there, and then with both nostrils open, here we're working with everything that we see around us, and what we are blowing out is delusion, not being able to see everything around us, okay? So again, right hand up, thumb on the right nostril, ring and pinky finger on the left, first and middle finger on the forehead and between the eyebrows or tucked in. We'll open up the left nostril as you press the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Blow out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, blow. One more time. Exhaling. So inhaling. Sometimes the feminine can be stuck, so it could also be the stuck energy you're blowing out. Okay, and we'll close off the left, opening the right. So our masculine nature. Think about now what you are trying to release. Okay, so we'll inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Blow out, releasing. 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale, release. One more cycle here. Inhaling. Releasing the weakened state. Okay, your hand can come down into your lap. We'll inhale through both nostrils. Exhaling. Inhale. Forceful exhalation, blowing out delusion. Again, 2 more cycles. Exhaling forcefully. That could also be disconnection, being dishonest with ourselves, not wanting to see. Okay, last cycle here. And inhaling. Exhaling out any imbalances. Okay, a few slow, deep, even breaths now. Feeling more whole and integrated. Grounded and uplifted. Appreciating these dual aspects that make life for us so interesting. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me, friends. I hope this is valuable. This is an exercise you can do in the mornings when I am mindful. I haven't been doing this as much lately, honestly. But I love just sitting up in bed or even getting onto the floor first thing when I wake up. So it's best to get on the floor to make this connection with the earth. I'm thankful for this new day that I woke up. I'm alive. I have this fresh start. And then I do these 9 clearing cycles. So it gets you into a state of being very intentional about how you're living and what you're wanting to bring out from you and into the day with all your relationships. So that is something that you can bring into your practice if you're being called to it. Let me know how this worked for you in the comments. And as you're engaging with this video and with the post I put up before, you have a chance to win the essential oil blend of the day, which I've said this word so much today, honesty. So this is lapis lazuli and the blend that will bring out or help us feel into our more honest nature. So this has frankincense in it, which is the king of essential oils. It's a very spiritual oil. Black pepper, Siberian fir, and lime. And lime is a really joyful oil. It's actually recommended for people who have depressed feelings because it brings out this joy for life. So it's awesome. You'll want to win this. So engage with me here. And if you are willing to share how you've been showing up in the wounded, how you've been showing up in the divine, when that happens, I would love to hear it and support you further. Take care, friends. Have a fabulous day.